know we are recording this and I had to go live. So thank you, everyone. Let me make sure. Okay, go ahead. I just want to say thank you to everyone for spending your evening with us. And it is just such a treat to see everyone here who is passionate about democracy, willing to do the work for the Democratic Party. And PCOs are the backbone of our party. You choose our leadership, you walk your neighborhood and organize. And what we know is there is a 5% increase in turnout when a precinct has a PCO. We also have with me, besides I'm Carrie Barnes, chair of the King County Democrats, I also have on the King County side Ann Udaloy, she's to my left in my box, and Melissa Taylor. So we are your resources for King County Democrats. We have on the King County election side, both Chelsea Ann and Angie, who are so patient with Zoom's technical issues, getting here tonight to spend the evening. And I also want to introduce Alexander Erickson, although his camera's off, but he is the King County PCO chair, along with Ann Udaloy. They both are the wizards who help us with everything PCO. So I just want to say a huge welcome and thank you. We, before we get started, we thought we'd have a cute video. I say cute is in a very loose term. It's pretty good. And so I'm going to turn it over to Melissa Taylor.
All right.
To kick us off.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
In today's news, corporate price gouging, new abortion ban.
Yes. Doom. That's all there is. Nothing can stop it. Doom!
We know things feel bleak right now. We can all feel
helpless, useless. I will suck them into despair.
But buck the up.
Wait! I need the powerless!
Come on.
Thanks.
We decide what comes next. We have made history before, and we will do it again. Let's do this.
Woo! I love that video. Thank you. And we will also be introducing, I'll turn it over to both Angie and Chelsea Ann. We will also be available for questions. And we've got lots of resources to answer those. We will also talk about appointed PCOs, when you file, what that term looks like, our new PCOs in filing week. And so we will have it very interactive, but before we get to a whole bunch of questions, I do want to turn it over to our King County elections folks. So thank you guys so much for leading us off.
Thank you very much. So good evening, everyone. My name is Angie Kubota, and I am the Candidate and Jurisdiction Coordinator at Elections. Thank you for allowing us to present this evening. Tonight, my colleague Chelsea Ann and myself will be talking about all things candidate filing. If you call or email us at Election Services, there's a good chance that you'll reach myself, Chelsea Ann, or our other colleague, Irene, directly with your candidate filing questions. Tonight's training will cover PCO resources, key dates, becoming a PCO, getting ready to file, the online filing walkthrough, and some miscellaneous topics. The goal of the workshop is to answer any and all questions you might have and prepare you for candidate filing week. Filing as a PCO will be easy, and hopefully King County Elections can make it as stress-free as possible with some helpful tips from tonight. So as we start, Chelsea Ann will be placing links for our Running for Office page and the manual into the chat. As we start, if there's one key takeaway from this workshop, it's that we are here to help, and that's all that we'd like to impress upon you all tonight. Our team wants to make at least the technical aspects of filing as a PCO as easy as possible. The first place to start is on our website. We have a page that is 100% devoted to being an informational source for candidates, campaigns, managers, or anyone else interested in the process. Several tools and resources can be found on the Running for Office page. That's right, we have a whole page that is dedicated to help our candidates. The best informational tool to start with for your journey is the PCO manual. The manual is updated every even year. We aim to post the manual by early spring. The PCO manual is cover to cover of everything you need to know to become a candidate. It is a highly recommended place to start. Also, on the Running for Office page, there's an online video tutorial on how to file online as a PCO. Filing online is both recommended and the most convenient way to file. Next slide, please. Candidate filing moves up this year to the beginning of May as a result of Senate Bill 5182 and standardizes certain aspects of candidate filing across the state. Candidate filing week will begin on Monday, May 6th and end on Friday, May 10th. A candidate can file online, in person, or by mail. The person filing online, which we again recommend as the most convenient way to file, can access the portal 24 hours a day starting at 8 a.m. on Monday, the 6th. A voter can come in person between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. We also begin accepting filings. Started accepting filings on April 22nd, excuse me, a little tongue-tied here, by mail. But please note, we don't start processing those until candidate filing week, again on May 6th. All filings will close at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 10th. No late filings will be accepted. The last day to withdraw is May 13th at 5 p.m. Next slide, please. To file for office as a Precinct Committee Officer, you must file a PCO declaration of candidacy. You must be a registered voter in the precinct for which you are filing. You must be 18 years old by the date of the primary election, which is August 6th. When filing, this will be covered by Chelsea Ann here in a bit, but it is very important to select the correct party. What you want to do next is to make a candidate filing checklist. Is your voter registration current? Do you know what precinct you're filing for? How do you want your name to appear on the ballot? Do you need to set up a PO box or campaign email address? To prepare to file, first double check your voter registration. On our King County Elections homepage, there is the My Voter Information Lookup tool. Our website has changed, so things are kind of moved around, but it's towards the bottom of our elections homepage. Chelsea Ann will be dropping the link into the chat if she hasn't done so already. It's easy to log into. Just type in your registered first name, your registered last name in their respective fields, and then either your house number or your date of birth. Once logged into the My Voter Information tool, select the registration tab. Here you'll find the precinct, your precinct, and be able to confirm your information on file. So just by entering your name and date of birth or house number, you can verify that we have your correct residential address. Remember, you must be a registered voter of the precinct for which you're filing. To recap, if you move from Kent to Seattle, you'll want to verify that we have the new Seattle address on file to put you in the correct precinct. If it is incorrect, just give us a call and our voter registration team will assist you prior to filing. Also important to note, on March 15th of this year, 2024, the court had ordered the Secretary of State to conduct a future election redistrict or future elections according to remedial map 3B. So in King County, legislative districts 5, 12, 31 are impacted by these new redrawn lines. Next slide, please. Once you're ready, have your ballot name ready. Your ballot name is your first name, can be a nickname. My name is Angela Kubota Wilbert. On the ballot, my name can be Angie, as my friends and family know me. My last name does not need to be my full registered last name. So for the ballot name, I can use Kubota, or I can use Wilbert, or I can use both. Also, do not use a name that denotes occupation or military rank. I couldn't be Dr. Angela Kubota. Also, do not use a name that misleads voters and indicates political affiliation. So I cannot be the amazing Angela Kubota on the ballot. Your ballot name cannot be changed once you file. You'll need to withdraw and refile before the close of candidate filing. Next slide. So shown here is the image of the form that would be filled out if you're filing in person. It's important to note that the online filing has the same fields to be completed. So kind of like if you were getting ready for a test or taking a practice test, what I would do is fill this out in advance and have it with you as you're filing online. So again, here's the declaration of candidacy. And if I personally was going to be filing online, I would fill it out beforehand in preparation. I would file as early as possible, like on Monday or Tuesday. I would file online. And also remember, late submissions are not accepted. Candidates who file online will receive 2 emails, one as a receipt of filing and one that your filing has been approved. Once approved, you will appear on our Who Has Filed page on our website in a downloadable report by party. Our Who Has Filed page first updates at noon on Monday, and then it's guaranteed to update by noon and 6 p.m. each day at a minimum, again, starting on Monday of filing week. So next, always proofread. The emphasis should be on making sure that we have your right precinct and party when filing. Is your ballot name correct? And then next slide, please. And then I don't know about you, but sometimes I buy things that look great in the store, and when I get home and get feedback from my family, that makes me question my decision making. It's what I call my buyer's remorse moment. I do like to shop, so I have this quite often. This could also happen with filing. So after you talk to your friends and family, maybe this might not be for you, and just know that the last day to withdraw is Monday, May 13th at 5 p.m. Regardless of circumstance, you would need to withdraw by 5 p.m. Otherwise, your name would appear on the ballot. This includes not only changing your mind, but moving out of district, major life events, or illness. Again, if you're not withdrawn, your name will appear on the ballot if there's more, if your race has enough candidates to appear on the ballot. Also, have that caveat. What if you change your mind and you don't have a printer? The candidate's signature is required. So you can just write on a piece of paper, a bill sitting next to you on your desk, put your name, the office, the precinct that you'd like to withdraw from, sign and date it, take a picture with your smartphone and email it over to us. It's really easy, and we'll get you withdrawn before the deadline, and then you can pop back in and refile again. Remember that once you file, you would need to withdraw if there was something wrong, like your ballot name. And then I just can't stress enough, Chelsea Ann will cover this in a moment, but filing online is definitely the most easy and convenient way. I personally like it really for that receipt aspect of, I know when I get filed, I know when it gets approved, kind of like your taxes, like if you use a online service to file your taxes, the same way you get that notification that it's been accepted and you're good to go, and then when you'll appear on the website there. So Chelsea Ann's going to cover more about online filing, and again, it probably will take you only about 5 to 10 minutes at most if you have all of your information ready to go. Thank you.
Thanks, Angie. We'll now be doing a demonstration of our online candidate filing process. We'll start by going to kingcounty.gov/elections to pull up the King County Elections homepage. This is what our homepage currently looks like. On our homepage in the right-hand column, we have a For Candidates link. When you click on the For Candidates link, you'll be taken to our Running for Office page. Once on the Running for Office page, you're going to scroll down to Online Filing and click on Online PCO Filing. Once you click on the Online PCO Filing link, you'll be taken to our Online PCO Filing page. On May 6th, there will be a live link to the candidate portal near the top of the page. This is the online candidate filing portal. Step 1 is the sign-in page. There are instructions and important details to read through here. In the fields towards the bottom of the page, you'll need to enter your first name, last name, and date of birth exactly as they appear in your voter registration. Click the login button to proceed to the next step. So today we're logging in as Jane Doe, our example candidate. This step, step 1B, is another opportunity to verify your voter registration information. Please make sure it's correct. If you need to make any updates, you can click on the update button, but we recommend contacting our office. If everything looks good to go, click on verify to go to the next step. Step 2 is the candidate portal dashboard. Once you've created a filing, it'll appear here. To create a new filing, click on the create new button. We then go to step 3, where you'll select the office you're filing for. To start, click on the drop-down menu to select precinct. Once you've selected precinct, precinct committee officer positions for both parties in the precinct will be listed. Make sure to select the party you wish to file for. Once you're ready to start filing, you can click on the start button. Step 4 asks for the same information Angie covered in the Declaration of Candidacy section. The fields with a red outline are required. The blue blurbs above fields provide instructions and clarification. The first section is the contact information section. This is how our office will contact you. We use the contact information you provide here for notifications and general correspondence. In the ballot name field, please enter your name exactly as you'd like it to appear on the ballot. As a reminder, ballot name requirements are included in the PCO manual. Next is the campaign contact information. This will be posted online, so if you're going to enter anything here, just know that it will be included in our Who Has Filed page. And then the campaign mailing address. This is published on our website in that same spreadsheet on our Who Has Filed page. If you're concerned about using your residential address, you could provide a PO box here. Once you've entered all the required information, click continue. And just calling out again, that campaign mailing address, make sure that if you don't want your residential address posted on our website, that you've included some other address here. It is required to move forward. Step 5 is the summary page. Please review the summary page and make sure everything looks correct to you. This is where you'll want to make sure you're filing for the correct party. Should also make sure your ballot name is correct. If you file for the wrong party or change your mind about your ballot name after submitting your declaration, you'll have to submit a withdrawal of candidacy and submit a new filing. If you catch it here, though, you can just click that back button and go back and make your correction. After confirming all the information looks correct, click the Submit Now button. That'll bring up this Declaration of Candidacy oath. Read through it and click on the I affirm the oath and wish to file button. Step 7 is the confirmation page. Getting to this page means you've successfully filed online. You can print this page for your own records if you'd like. You should expect to receive 2 different emails regarding your initial filing. The first email is to let you know we've received your Declaration of Candidacy. The second email will be sent out once someone in our office has reviewed and approved your filing. Filings will be reviewed within 24 hours of submission. That's really how easy it can be. It can take less than 10 minutes if you're prepared. Let's go over some miscellaneous items. First, will you appear on the ballot? So only contested PCO races appear on the ballot. In addition to the emails I mentioned a minute ago, you'll receive an email if another candidate files for the same party in the same precinct you filed in. For races appearing on the ballot, our office determines the order of candidate names by lot draw. We conduct the lot draw shortly after 5:30 p.m. on the Friday of candidate filing week. Like Angie mentioned, candidates have until 5 p.m. on Monday, May 13th to withdraw their filing. If after this deadline only one candidate's filed for the party and precinct, that candidate is deemed elected. Once a PCO has been elected, we send certificates of election to the party, not the candidate. Precinct committee officers are not included in the voters pamphlet. We don't accept voters pamphlet materials for PCO candidates. Voter data requests. You can request voter data. Data may only be used for political purposes. To request voter data, contact the Secretary of State's office. We've provided the contact information for the Secretary of State's Public Records Office here. We also recommend reviewing the state's reports, data, and statistics page. Similarly, you can also request a list of voters who have a signature challenge on their ballot for the current election. To request this, please contact the Secretary of State's Public Records Office. Observing. You can take a self-guided tour of elections via the viewing loop on the second floor of our Renton headquarters. The viewing loop is open on weekdays, 8:30 to 4:30 during an election. We also provide live election cam streams on our website during an election. For the primary, the viewing loop will be open and the webcams will be streaming from July 17th through August 20th. Candidates and representatives of political parties can also attend observer trainings and observe election activities in person. And does anyone have any questions? This is where we're going to open it up to our questions and answers portion.
If this is a great time, folks, if you'd like to come off mute. Melissa Taylor.
Yes, I've heard this question a couple times and just wanted clarification. Is there a write-in option for somebody who misses the filing week for PCOs?
No.
Okay.
That's a great question, Melissa, but no, there's not a write-in option.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions for our folks from King County Elections?
Chair Barnes, I think Preeti may be raising her hand.
Oh, good. Sorry, I just need to move this.
Thank you. You mentioned providing a PO box if you didn't want to provide the residential address. Is that only for the voter information, or is that for the registration as well?
Oh, go ahead, Chelsea Ann.
Okay, if you provide a PO box, that's only going to affect your declaration of candidacy. It's not going to affect your voter registration information. You can include a mailing address on your voter registration information, but you would need to do that as an update to your voter registration beforehand, not when you're providing that information in that screen with the red outlined fields.
Chelsea Ann, are you able to go back to that slide? And the real thing around this question is just for folks to know that this information is going to live on our website in a downloadable report. And so, you know, it doesn't have to be a PO box. It can be your work address or, you know, something public that you feel comfortable with. But if you don't feel comfortable with your home address being out there, on this downloadable form, of course, your residential address is public information, but, you know, just this is something that folks, you know, sometimes have concern with, and a way around it is just to make sure you have a public address that you want posted there. You know, it could be a work, could be a PO box, could be a PMB someplace, whatever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Catherine Sharp, I see your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. So I have been a PCO. I am a PCO. I have run before and a consistent voter. I believe my voter registration name is Catherine Olson Sharp, but I believe that I ran as a PCO person as Kathy Sharp, my nickname that most people know me by. If those two disagree, is there going to be a problem?
So if your voter registration last name is Sharp, and let's say your first name was you, instead of going by Kathy, all of a sudden you want to go by Kate, or CEO if it's Kathy or Catherine Olson Sharp. As long as your last name matches, it's fine. So if your last name in our registration system was Olson Sharp, like mine is Kubota Wolbert, I could be registered as, I could run as Angie Kubota or Angela Kubota Wolbert or Angela Wolbert. But I do need to have whatever's my last name, that we have the registration last name in that ballot name.
Okay,
Great question.
Great. It wasn't a problem before, but I just wanted to make sure it wouldn't be this time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Connie.
So what information is available to us through the voter data request?
So that's going to include a voter data request is going to include the publicly disclosable information. So a voter's name, their year of birth, and then their residential and mailing addresses. It also will include like their precinct. If you like, you can have voter history included in that. So you can see when, like if you're really interested in if they voted in the primary in 2022, you can request that. anything else, Angie, that I'm missing that would be included that'd be especially helpful?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh, thanks. I am interested in tracking the voter history for the people in my precinct. I particularly want that to know, to be able to evaluate if my canvassing really has an impact or not. I mean, I think that's one clue. So thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Are there any other questions for Melissa Taylor?
Yeah. Another question that I've heard is how long does it take if you get in there and realize that you forgot to update your voter registration address and you go update the voter registration address, how long do you have to wait before it gets updated here?
Great question, Melissa. So if it's during candidate filing week, we inform our customer service team to, handle the person calls and says, I'm calling, I need to update my address. I'm a candidate. Typically, they either get forwarded over to us and the person that we have on staff to just only do these registrations or updates will be doing that for us for filing purposes. So it should be, hey, we got you on the phone. We know it's done. And then you can pop right in there and do the filing immediately. So it's really a great system right now.
Okay. So they should not do it online, but they should call you
I guess if they do it online, they should give us a call so we can get someone in there and process it because it could be a timing issue, right? They popped in online and the team that does that, which is not our team, might not have that in their queue for that moment. So
okay.
Yeah.
Super helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all being so on top of it.
Are there any other questions for our King County folks? Just making sure I'm not missing any questions. And all the links are in the chat. And if someone has a question later on, okay, great. Then this is the election services is where they would further ask the question for you, or the 206-296-1565 number. Wonderful. And Melissa, are we missing anything else before we let these ladies go?
No, I
guess. Oh, one question, Carrie. Would it be helpful if we send out an email to Carrie or Melissa with all of these links and kind of a little recap that you could forward out? Okay.
That'd be fabulous.
Oh, one other thing, which I know is not your area, but is one of my new favorite features from King County Elections is the text reminders. Would you mind telling folks about text reminders and how they can sign up for them?
Oh, of course. I would love to. So one thing that we're doing now is text alerts. So once you sign up or subscribe, you can get a text or email alert. You can do that on our My Voter Information, the same way that you're looking up to confirm. Once you're in there, double checking your residential address, you can pop in there and subscribe to text alerts. And what you will do is once you're in there, once ballots are mailed, you'll get a text alert saying ballots are mailed. And then, if we haven't received a ballot, you could get a notification for that too. It just kind of depends. There's multiple notifications that are going out each election, and it's a kind of handy tool. And that we're seeing a lot of success from people signing up from and, kind of tracking their ballot that way. Chelsea Ann, did I forget any of the?
I think the only thing I would add is that if you are looking to sign up, once you've logged into My Voter Information, it's going to be on the third tab, Track My Ballot. That's where you'll want to go. And then also, we do send you very helpful, informative text, but we also don't spam you. There's a maximum of 5 texts that we would send you during an election at most. So they're very helpful. We see a higher voter turnout, I believe, for folks who are signed up, and also a higher signature resolution rate. So they're very helpful for both us and the voters.
Yeah, and so what Chelsea Ann's mentioning there about the signatures is that if your ballot happened to be challenged, my signature over from when I registered when I was 18 to now, 30 years later is very degraded from what it was. And if my signature did get challenged, I would get a text alert letting me know that, and then it would kind of take me to where I needed to go to cure that signature or to resolve the issue. So it's really a handy tool.
Karen, you have a question?
Yes. Can you send out this information in like one page or something like that so we have it available to us when we get asked the questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can send all of this out, and if it's okay with Melissa, I'm trying to get a one pager from our comms team, and I think I should have it by tomorrow. So if we can hold off until tomorrow, I think I might be able to include everything at once.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Does anyone else have any other questions for our team while they're here? Thank you both so much. We look forward to the follow-up. We appreciate you being here on a lovely Tuesday. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. And for the rest of the folks here, I would like, one of the things I would like is there a question comes up quite a bit about if you are an appointed PCO. And if you could use your raised hand on the reactions tab, if you are an appointed PCO, we're going to go through what that timing looks like. Either way, I'm just trying to get a feel for how many folks on this meeting are appointed. So thank you very much. We got quite a few. So I'm going to turn it over to Anne Udaloy to explain what that, and it looks like Aiden, I think you raised your hand as well. What it looks like, because we are asking to refile, what does it look like as an appointed PCO? And Anne, I will let you, and if everyone can lower their hands, I'll let Anne speak. And then if you have questions for Anne regarding this process, then after she is done, please use your raised hand and we'll have her answer some questions. So thank you, Anne.
So yeah, we actually have 3 types of PCOs, if you will. What we're urging everyone to do is become an elected PCO by filing for election and being elected in the August primary. If we do not elect a PCO in a precinct, or if for some reason the PCO who is elected can no longer serve, for example, if they move out of the precinct, or if they just decide it's not for them anymore and resign, then we have a vacant precinct, and we can appoint a PCO to that precinct if we find a volunteer who meets the criteria to be an elected PCO. So all of you who are appointed PCOs, thank you so much. You stepped forward and staffed a precinct that would otherwise not have a volunteer helping us get out the vote. However, the appointments end at the same time that the elected term ends. So anyone who's been appointed recently is appointed for the term that ends on November 30th. At midnight, all of our existing elected and appointed PCOs leave office, and the newly elected PCOs, the ones who are filing starting next Monday and are elected in the August primary, take office at 1 second after midnight on December 1st. And we'd love for you to be among that team. So what we're looking for is for everyone who is an appointed PCO to please file for election to your precinct as an elected PCO, so that on December 1st, you'll take office as an elected PCO and not have to go through the appointment process again. That's our goal. It's to seat everybody as easily as possible and give you the full rights and privileges from the minute you are seated. This is actually very important because our elected PCOs are the only credentialed voters as we reorganize our legislative districts and our county organizations. So you, as an elected PCO, are the only voters in your legislative district for your chair, your vice chair, your state committee representatives, your county committee representatives, your secretary and treasurer. And sometimes the bylaws of your organization will also identify other offices where you are the only voters. Same thing holds for the county offices. So the elected PCOs are absolutely essential to the health and well-being of our Democratic Party organizations. Appointed PCOs have the same privileges as elected PCOs after they're appointed. However, we can't appoint any PCOs until we have chairs for our organizations. So there are no PCO appointments until after your legislative district reorganizes and your county organization reorganizes. The only other difference is that only elected PCOs can vote if a chair is recalled. That's literally the only other difference. I also want to note that we have an additional contingent of volunteers, which we call precinct coordinators or acting PCOs. And these are volunteers. Your LD may have a different term for those volunteers. These are folks who, for some reason, cannot serve as an appointed PCO in their precinct. And the reasons can include that they are not a registered voter in their precinct, and they're volunteering to help get out the vote in a precinct where they aren't a resident. They may be too young. You could have a young volunteer who can't register to vote, and they'd like to help out getting out the vote in the precinct. They can be in a precinct coordinator for a precinct. We can also have volunteers who do not qualify as registered voters and are still very interested in helping our organizations. Those volunteers can also serve as precinct coordinators or acting PCOs. There is no formal filing for that. That's an agreement between a volunteer and their political party organization. In King County, that's the legislative district organization. So all of you folks who are appointed PCOs, yes, absolutely, please file starting on Monday to be an elected PCO starting December 1st. Your term will end on November 30th otherwise. Any other questions?
Any questions for Ann? Thank you so much, Ann. We appreciate you. We also want to call your attention to this Saturday, May 4th at 10 a.m. If you know folks that are willing to spend a bit of time to learning what it takes to be a PCO and how to run in your legislative district, if it's your friends or neighbors, please, we put in the chat the sign up for the Zoom. We also will be having several drop-in Zooms the week of filing week, both on Tuesday and on Thursday, the 7th and the 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. Don't worry, we will all send this out. You'll probably be getting more notices than you care, but it's really important. And then Friday on filing week from 1 to 3, both Alexander, myself, the team, you will have resources there. If you are having issues with filing, you have questions, you want to bring a friend or neighbor who just needs that personal touch to really ask some questions so that they can get involved and become a PCO and learn all about the amazing opportunity, as well as really this year is so important. We are looking at the election in November is critical. We need all of our neighbors and friends to really be, whether it is knocking on doors, whether it is text banking or phone banking, doing something small, something big, but doing something for democracy as we face insurmountable, complicated issues, both nationally but locally. Let's really hold tight to our democratic values and keep electing Democrats. And I will turn it over to Melissa Taylor. If there's anything to add, this has been an amazing evening, and I hope you've all learned a lot, and just really enjoyed the time.
Yeah, I just wanted to show folks really quickly, in case you are helping to recruit PCOs, to help people look up their precinct. If you just search for King County, find my districts, it'll pull up this page. And then it just takes a minute to come in here. You type in an address. Oh, usually I have a public address ready to type in here, and I forgot to have that ready to copy paste, but it'll essentially pop in and pull up over here this information to say, okay, you live in CTAC 333066. So when you type in an address, you'll get all of this information in this window. And then I also popped a link into the chat for how to look up whether or not that precinct currently has a PCO. We have 2,700 precincts in King County. Those precincts represent generally 300 to 600 voters, sometimes up to 800. And right now we have about, I think, 1,100, 1,200 PCOs. Our goal is to get substantially more. And so if everybody here goes out and finds 1 or 2 more people who can serve as PCO, that will make such a big difference in the elections that are coming up. King County turning out every Democratic voter will make a huge difference in who we elect to all the statewide offices and what happens with all of those ballot initiatives. So just want to really, really super encourage everybody to help us make this our most successful PCO filing season. It's easy for people to get hopeless. I'm sure you have people in your networks who are feeling hopeless and maybe doing some of that doom scrolling from the beginning of our session. And if you can convince them to pick up a clipboard and help us out, it would make a huge difference. So we can all make a difference, one door at a time, and bringing friends makes it more fun.
Yeah, when we say that we want to elect Democrats, the first Democrats we want to elect are all of you.
Yes.
We really want to elect all of you to be our PCOs, and in some cases, Senator Wilson, hopefully additional offices.
Thank you for serving as a PCO, Senator Wilson.
Well, thanks. I appreciate everybody that's on here who's done far more than I. So thank you all.
Just different kinds of work. But for those who don't know, Senator Wilson and I have been knocking doors together for 7 years.
A long time, forever. Yeah.
And
I see what I know.
I know there are other elected representatives here, Preeti and others, I'm sure. But I just want to thank everyone here who is stepping forward to support each other and support our communities and build our communities. This is how community works, and I'm so grateful you're here.
Thank you all so much. We will stick around if there's questions, if anyone wants to stay and have a question or a chat, but we just really appreciate your participation and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Senator Claire Wilson. Good to see you.